Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this week's energy forecast. I'm Sarah Louise, an intuitive, a reader of the cosmic weather, and I'm here to share with you what's coming up this week. So what energy is going to be hanging around, what the cosmic skies are doing, and how we can best navigate ourselves through the week. So my beautiful friends, I got a kind of one word for this week of the energy, what's out there, and that's funky. It feels a bit funky, it feels a bit off, it feels a bit like, I feel like last week was the calm before the storm, and this week it's like little bits of that kind of stormy energies come in, but we're not in it, we're not kind of in the crux of kind of chaos, but it's like, it just feels a bit off, yeah? So if I'm telling you that's how it kind of feels out there, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder this week to stay grounded, focused, enjoy vibrancy, living your best life. It's a little bit like me saying to you, oh, you know what, this week, there's a big storm out there. There's a big storm coming. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's a bad week, right? It just means that if you go out, you're probably going to need your umbrella. You may need to put like a rain jacket on if you're going for a walk. Like, you just prepare for it, right? So if the energy feels a bit funky out there, you just prepare for it. You just are aware of it, and remember that when we have knowledge and we're aware of what's going on, it makes it a lot easier, right? We don't kind of go so much into reaction, because it's like, oh no, I know that it's a bit funky out there, so I'm just going to kind of be careful with my words, and I'm going to think before I speak, and I'm not going to push too hard, because Sarah said it's going to be a bit funky out there, but it doesn't mean it's in here, right? And what we're doing is working on ourselves. I'm just telling you about the environment that we're working in, yeah? So this week we've got, we're on the back of that full moon, which was pretty hectic. It was a super moon, and physically it was quite heavy, demanding on people. We've got Mercury going retro, and I always think that when that shift first happens, we just got to be a little bit careful. We kind of get used to, that kind of thinking before we speak, things kind of coming a little bit unraveled, as Mercury goes through that progression. But I actually like Mercury retrograde, because it kind of feels like it slows things down, makes us have another little look, makes us really aware of our communication. Communication comes up always big time. And these are the things that we should be working on. We should be trying to be better communicators, and if there's maybe certain ways that we communicate that aren't that healthy with certain people, like, this is a great time that could come up and we could work on it, yeah? So we've got Mercury going retro, but we've also got that beautiful energy of 11/11 coming in, kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where you are, Monday, Tuesday, kind of beginning of the week. So that sheds beautiful light. That, I love 11/11. It's got a really beautiful vibration for intention setting and meditation. It's it's the angel numbers, and who doesn't love 11/11? Yeah. So that's really beautiful, but we've got this kind of undercurrent that I feel is through the week, and that's because of lots of other different kind of cosmic energies that's hanging around, plus the end of that full moon. So this week is a week to be aware, and to understand that weeks like this aren't coming, the weather's like that, not as a punishment or anything, but sometimes there's a bit of a realignment and a reassessment. Yeah, it gives us this beautiful opportunity to maybe become a little bit more aware of where we're at, what we're doing, what we're working towards, and So what's my advice to you this week is to stay super grounded, to think before you speak, to set some intentions under that 11-11 energy, and just to be very kind of aware of your energy field, what you let in, what you put out, and the people that you're around, and the food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking, what you're consuming, you know, and consuming in, you know, on every level, you know, the people's vibration. What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you with? What are you putting into your body? Like, be super aware, yeah? Because it's so important. Like, this is our incredible temple, right? And whatever we're putting into this temple, whatever we're exposing this temple to, has an effect, yeah? So while the weather's a bit funky out there, let's bring it back, truly back to ourselves, yeah? How are we looking after this temple? What's going on? Like, what do we need to revisit? What have we slacked off of? You know, what were we doing that actually felt really good? What could we be doing more of? Yeah? So these, yeah, that feels like the energy. And remember, when it's Mercury retrograde, it's like revisiting things. It's like not a time that we kind of maybe start something completely fresh, but we're working on what we've been working on, and we're revisiting and we're redoing, and we're kind of unfolding, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's until the end of this year, that's not even going to be true. We've got, you know, we've got this kind of really shifting and evolving energy that's hanging around for a while, yeah? Until the end of this year, it's going to feel a little bit more squeezy each week, yeah? But that doesn't mean that, as I always say, it's not bad, it's not good, it just is an experience. And sometimes if we are a little bit squeezed, isn't that where we grow a bit more? Yeah? Isn't that where we make changes? Yeah? So what are you going to do this week to look after yourself? What are you going to listen to? What are you going to talk about? Words have so much power. Yeah? Mercury's going retrograde. Words have so much power. What are you going to be talking about? What are you going to be voicing out? Knowing that, you know, we're a magnet bringing things in, yeah? If you're feeling a bit fuzzy and a bit, you know, funky, what are you going to do? What do you have on your list, maybe written down or in your head, of what helps you? You know, fresh air, grounding, lots of water, lemon water, like what helps you? They're what help me. Going for a walk. What helps you when you feel a bit funky? Maybe a magnesium bath, a salt bath. What's on your list? Maybe book something in for the week. Allow it just to be whatever it is this week. We don't have to control everything, right? And remember that nothing has to be perfect all the time. I was listening to a beautiful thing the other day, and it was, you know, how if a flower's not in bloom, we don't think it's quite at perfection. You know, we kind of, it's not quite right, is it? We wait until it's in bloom to see its beauty. And, you know, isn't there beauty in the seed, in the sprout, in the becoming? Yeah. We often think that if we're not in bloom, you know, something wrong, we're not quite there. What about if being there is every step along the journey, right? Yeah. So what's your frustrations this week? What's your energy? What's your moods? It's a good week to be aware. And if you do start to feel funky, like, what are you going to do? You're going to sit in it, or you're going to shift it, change it. You may feel amazing, yeah? You may be looking outside, oh yeah, it's a bit funky out there, but I feel great. It's all what we do, isn't it? It's all really just a choice, isn't it? So my beautiful friends, that's this week. Have an amazing week. I send you heaps and heaps of love and lots of lights, and enjoy it. Remember, like, we're just in the game of life, so like, let's not take it so seriously. Yeah, like, whatever. Yeah. If we rise up above the cosmic weather, we're in, you know, in the light, really. Bliss and joy, so maybe try and do that. See how that works for you. Have an amazing week. Lots of love.